You need to watch this video. You will learn where Summerlin is, why Summerlin is so popular, the cost of living in Summerlin, the most expensive neighborhoods, and the best neighborhoods. I'm Vicky.
And I'm Kyle of the Simmons team. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate here in Southern Nevada, we got you covered. Okay, so now that we just laid out the freeways, it's almost 10 minutes from what it used to be.
If you live within this red line, you will be living in Summerlin proper.
If you're trying to figure out your cardinal directions, this is the northern part.
The backyards, some of them do not have walls, so you don't have that privacy that you would normally find in other communities. There are also 3 golf courses.
Touching up and kissing right on top of the Red Rock Canyon area. So purchasing a home in this area, we got you covered. Just reach out to us.
Give us a call, text, DM. We'd love to help you out.
It's super important to know your way around town. The average drive time has increased almost 10 minutes from what it used to be 20 years ago, so it takes a little bit longer to get places than it used to. But by the way, it's only about 20 minutes. In California, there's people that average commute an hour a day, so we feel very blessed here in Las Vegas to not have crazy drive times. So I'm going to show you here on the map as we blow up and come in. If you came from the 15 freeway, which is our main one that flanks the strip or is on the side of the strip, you'd come up the 95 freeway. And then this little strip of freeway right here is called Summerlin Parkway, and that gets you access to the majority of Summerlin. And then also Summerlin runs the 215 freeway. We call it the Beltway right there. And you, depending on if you're in the most southern part of Summerlin, you would be using the 215 to get to the main freeways. And if you're in the northern part of Summerlin up here, then you might be using Summerlin Parkway. And if you're going north, you can take the 215 all the way around. So that's basically where Summerlin is.
If you live within this red line, you will be living in Summerlin proper, which means you will be paying the Summerlin Master Plan community fees.
If you're trying to figure out your cardinal directions, this is the northern part of the valley here. This is east, south, and then west. You take the freeway south to go to California or Southern California. Summerlin is located on the far west side over here. And one of our favorite features about being in Summerlin is actually this wonderful place we call Red Rock Canyon. Red Rock Canyon is a national conservation area and is located just on the fringes, and you get fantastic views from the homes in Summerlin of Red Rock Canyon.
Summerlin is broken down into numerous villages, and we're going to go ahead and explain to you where those are on this map. So Sun City Summerlin is located on the far north side. What's interesting to know about Sun City Summerlin is that it is a 55 and older community, so you have to be of a certain age in order to even purchase in this area. And the backyards, some of them do not have walls, so you don't have that privacy that you would normally find in other communities. However, there are a lot of amazing amenities that you can find within this location. There are also 3 golf courses located in Sun City, Summerlin. Now, the next part is the Pueblo, and then you have the hills and the trails, and then the hills south. Now, this location right here is part of the original Summerlin development.
Yeah, these villages are some of the very first villages along with Sun City that were initially built in the early 90s. Over here on the west side of the 215 freeway, you're actually going to find a majority of some of the newer neighborhoods. And right here is the future developing neighborhoods. Here's an area of future development. And then everything from the Vistas and the Paseos have been around for quite some time. And those are fantastic neighborhoods. Here's some of the newer neighborhoods: Reverence, Kestrel, Red Point, and Grand Park. Those ones are still being developed right now and being sold off. So if you have questions and would be interested in potentially purchasing a home in this area, we got you covered. Just reach out to us.
There is a lot of new construction going on in that area, and with new construction, you do get a lot of really amazing incentives, maybe a rate buy down, help with closing costs. So if this area is something that you're interested in, and especially a new build community, definitely reach out. We can chat more.
You know, if you have more questions about Summerlin, you have another video about Summerlin you could find on our channel. We'll try to throw a link below. And the reason we bring that up is because some fantastic parks like Fox Hill Park are located in Summerlin. It's one of the best parks in town. And then also right here is Charleston Boulevard. It's one of the oldest roads or boulevards in town. And with that being said, off of Charleston is located the Red Rock Casino. And you could see more about Red Rock Casino in some of our other videos. But here in downtown Summerlin, there's plenty of shops, dining, and all sorts of entertainment located in the downtown Summerlin area. It's sort of the epicenter of people that congregate and have places to dine and enjoy.
Summerlin is home to 3 resorts and 10 golf courses.
As we're moving our way down this map, you're going to find other villages like the Willows. The Willows has a Gardens Park in it where they have a farmer's market. Also, downtown Summerlin has a Saturday farmer's market. So if you want to get fresh produce, those are some of the places you would go. As we move a little bit more south, we get into some of the more prestigious neighborhoods. And then it's important to know, we didn't mention earlier that there's Sun City Summerlin is an age-restricted community. We also have Trinity that has an age-restricted community. And there's also this large parcel. It's its own entire village. It's called Sienna. There's some really nice homes in there. It's also age-restricted and has a fantastic golf course. If you haven't golfed it, it's a wonderful golfing experience. And then finally down here, we are at the south part. This area is called the Cliffs. It's located on and abutted up to a large cliff face that you can easily see from your backyard. And what's beautiful about the Cliffs is this newly annexed land, meaning it was recently added to Summerlin to be allowed to develop. They traded some land that they owned in the Red Rock area with the city and Summerlin to basically add this space. And then they ended up developing homes in there. They're fantastic homes in there, like Onyx Point. Anyways, that's the majority of all the villages here in Summerlin. And of course, most importantly, this new planned phase of growth that's going to be happening in Summerlin soon. One of my favorite things about Summerlin is they have more than necessary or required amounts of walking trails and parks. So a city of Las Vegas and Clark County, they have a minimum requirement for the amount of parks that have to go in per every square mile for however many residents are going to be in that type of residential area. Summerlin goes above and beyond and has additional parks and additional trails. And not only are they extra, but they're also a lot better than most other city parks.
We have over 230 parks in all of Summerlin.
So I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the trails of Summerlin. Now, first thing it's important to know that these green streets are actually city streets, but they all have little bits of trails or sidewalks that you're able to ride on and bike lanes. So these are all great trails that line the streets. Then we have some special trails located right here. These orange trails that you're actually going to see are separate from the regular trails. They are completely away from roads. So they're their own singular paved trails that makes it a lot safer and more fun for you as a cyclist or jogger or whatever activities you're doing on the trail. And that trail runs all the way from Lake Mead and runs along the freeway, the 215 freeway, all the way down here to the very bottom of Summerlin in the Cliffs area and just past Sunset. And you can see that right here. It runs all from north to south. And then lastly, there's additional little trails in the villages. When they built the villages, they planned to have trails. So here's the Pueblo Trail. It goes through the entire village of the Pueblo. Here's another trail that you'll find in the hills. It goes through the hills. There's another trail that you'll find that runs all the way across the arbors. And then there's another one that runs across the gardens area over here. And then there's trails through Stonebridge. And even this brand new community that hasn't been built yet, you can see that they're doing a new trail that's going to run through the entirety of Red Point. So there's many types of trails all available in Summerlin, making it a much more enjoyable place to just be out in public and nature. Now, as we mentioned, there's many villages in Summerlin. Here you're going to see a blue trail that runs through the Pueblo. Here's another trail that runs through the Arbors. Here's another trail that runs through Red Point. Here's a trail that runs through the Paseos. A lot of these individual communities. Here's one that's being built currently right now near Grand Park Boulevard. So there's going to be another trail that runs through Grand Park. So many of these villages have their own trails that run through them as well. And that's no different down here in the Willows. And here's a couple more down on the south side of Summerlin. So there's numerous trails, more than the rest of the city, that make it a beautiful place to be able to take your dogs out or your kids or your family. A fun fact you might not have known about Summerlin is it's been on the top 10 list for master planned communities in the entire United States for decades. It's always in the top master plan communities list because it's just been a fantastic place to live.
To add to the popularity of Summerlin is the distance to the Strip. So if you look here, we are about 8 miles from the Strip to Summerlin. So you're not very close to the hustle and bustle. It's more serene, more quiet, and there's a closer sense of community in this location. Another reason why people love Summerlin so much is that there are over a dozen schools in Summerlin and about 14 public schools, and the public schools are some of the top rated schools in all of Nevada. And for all of our golfers watching, there are over 10 golf courses in Summerlin.
I'm going to take you guys on a quick tour of some of those. This is TPC Summerlin, and it's right next to Angel Park. Angel Park is a really fun golf course. Anyone can play. It's a public course. They have 2 18 holes there and an additional 12 hole that's lit up at night, so a lot of people enjoy that at night. We also have this one's not technically, that's the mountain course. And then this is a little bit more TPC. And then I'm going to start moving up towards Sun City Summerlin. Sun City Summerlin has 3 golf courses. They have Eagle Crest. This is a short little executive course. And then they have the mountain, Highland Falls and Palm Valley. And then moving away from Summerlin, we have the other senior or age-restricted community called Sienna, which is down here just off of Wallapai Road. And then in Sienna, it's a great golf course. Make sure you check it out. It's a public course. Anyone can play there. And then just to the left of it, they have the most exclusive community called The Summit, which has its own golf course. And then we have Bears Best right here, which is a private course. And then we have the Red Rock Country Club. And the Red Rock Country Club is cool because they have a public course and a private course. One was called the Arroyo. Fantastic course. I highly recommend you guys playing those. If you have any questions about golf, put it in the comments below. Maybe we'll make you a golf video one day as well. Just let us know.
These golf courses are not just for golfing. In fact, Kyle and I have gone to some of the most beautiful weddings at some of these golf courses in Summerlin.
Being real estate agents gives us special access to the MLS system, and that shows us where over 90% of the homes that are for sale are available. So we want to break down the cost of living in Summerlin. So obviously living in Summerlin, you're going to have some of those HOA fees and master plan community fees. But what about the values of the homes? Let's take a look at those. So currently right now, what you're looking at is a grid sheet of all the homes that are currently for sale on the market. And the most affordable one that's available right now is on Grayling Drive, and it's for $375,000, and it's a 1,200 square foot home. It's been on the market for 14 days. That's a nice little house, single-story home. It looks something like this. Now let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum and see if we can figure out what the most expensive homes are in Summerlin currently. So today we have one over on Stardust asking $32 million. It is a 9,188 square foot property on just under an acre with 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and a 6-car garage, and of course a pool and spa.
And the most expensive property in Summerlin is actually at 11587 Stardust Drive, and the price for that is $32 million. It is about 9,188 square feet, 7 bathrooms, 5 bedrooms, 6-car garage, and it was built in 2017.
Now you're probably wondering, okay, I got 375, and then they've also got, 32 million. Where's the meat and potatoes of this sort of neighborhood? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick CMA, and that's going to do some numbers for me. In fact, there's all of these homes asking prices, so it's not the sold values. This is current asking prices. Now it's showing us the most common or the median asking price currently today is $799,999, meaning there's more homes for that $800,000 than any other price available in all of Summerlin. And then, of course, the cheapest is $375,000, the most expensive $32 million, and then the average. This is what we've all been waiting for. The average home in Summerlin today, now, of course, this is including $32 million all the way out to $35, is $1.257 million. So when you average every home's asking price currently on the market today, you get about a $1.257 average asking price. That's the cost of purchasing a home in Summerlin. You can get a 1,200 square foot single story in the 400s, or you could buy a mega mansion up on the hill with beautiful views of the city for 1.25 or even 32 million.
Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the best neighborhoods to live in Summerlin. We have the Mesa, which has over 497 acres. It's a great place to live. The average price point is about $800,000. Next, we have The Willows. The Willows is a great community. It's really close to downtown Summerlin. So you have shopping, restaurants, a lot of entertainment there, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Next, we have the Paseos, which is a well-known village in Summerlin. It is very close to Fox Hill Park, which is one of the #1 parks in Summerlin. And then we have the Vistas, which is another community located right next to the Paseos.
Some of these other communities are still being built, and it doesn't mean that they're not great. It's important to know that every single village of Summerlin is great. They're all fantastic. Some of this stuff might be a little bit older, so if you want a newer home, then you might venture into these areas or the areas where there's more new construction going on in Summerlin. Also, when we say best neighborhoods, we want to preface this with these are the more, not necessarily affordable neighborhoods, but these are accessible neighborhoods to everybody, and they are family friendly and fantastic places to raise a family and just live and enjoy life.
And I've also been nominated as some of the best neighborhoods in all of Summerlin. And now for the moment you guys have all been waiting for, we are actually going to talk about the most expensive neighborhoods in all of Summerlin.
Here we are again in our handy dandy MLS system, and we pulled up a handful of the neighborhoods. I want to show you some highlighted neighborhoods here on the Summerlin Village map. You might have heard about the Peaks. It runs along the side of the freeway. This is one of the more expensive neighborhoods in Summerlin, and the Peaks is a fantastic location. The next one on our list that's going to be one of the more expensive locations is Red Rock Country Club. And of course, it's known for the golf amenities that are in there as well. And then we're going to make our way to the Ridges, formerly the most expensive neighborhood in all of Summerlin, up until the creation of, drumroll please,
The Summit.
The Summit. The Summit Club is actually being developed by Discovery Land Company, and in the Summit, you might have heard a lot about it in the news. The Summit is actually the location of where Mark Wahlberg has purchased his property. Also, Celine Dion had a property that she had in the Summit. The Summit is one of the most exclusive communities in town, and also the Summit is very well protected and guarded. Not anyone can get in there. It's very difficult to get in there. It's very much like a Hollywood type of location. Security is perfect. So if you're looking for that level of security and comfort, this might be the location for you. And now, just for reference, so you can understand how expensive the Summit is, I'm going to pull up all the land for sale. Now, as you look at this map, you'll notice most of these homes have not been developed. And the reason for that is these are all custom-built homes. So each person actually has to buy the land first and then choose to develop their home on top of it. You'll notice many of these different little parcels for sale. I'm going to show you on a grid the cost of just buying the dirt before you can build your home. The most affordable piece of land is for 0.77 acres, and they're asking just under $8 million. The most expensive parcel of land is 2.73 acres, and they're asking $30 million. This doesn't have utilities. This doesn't have a home. This doesn't have any infrastructure at all other than the road that abuts to it up front. And then, of course, you could tap into the utilities there.
As you can see, the Summit is extremely exclusive. To purchase a plot of land for $30 million, you kind of look at that $32 million property as a steal.
Real quick, we came back to our handy-dandy MLS, and where we had our 350 available listings in Summerlin, we just isolated the top 10, and we're going to take a look at the prices on those top 10 listings right now. These are currently on the market, and they start at $32 million, then $19 million, 4.5, so there's a big gap right there, and then it drops all the way down to $3.6 million. So the 10th most expensive home was only $3.6 million in Summerlin, and you still get a 6,900 square foot home on a half acre with 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms. Now, if you're wondering where are those located, they're actually located all over the place, and one of the other most expensive communities that I forgot to mention is called the Canyons. In the Canyons, these homes, some of them are on the fairways of TPC Summerlin, and you'll see these as I pull them up. You can definitely see this is one of the largest homes in town right here, located on the corner of the fairway and then the green right here on TPC Summerlin. You could see a plethora of all completely custom-built homes that run through Trophy and Tournament Hills right here. This is another one of the more expensive areas, but it's been established and it's been around town a little bit longer. And a benefit to it is it's right next to, of course, all the golf courses like Angel Park, but it's also right next to Tivoli Village. And if you haven't been to Tivoli Village, it's another one of Summerlin's famous shopping centers that has some fantastic food and dining. I'm gonna give you guys the absolute cheat sheet on how to navigate the entirety of Las Vegas Valley. So first thing you need to know is that Las Vegas is very much kind of in a square. So the town's laid out in a much square-like fashion. The lake is over here, so we'll put a lake here. And then, interesting fun fact about the lake. If you didn't know Lake Mead, it's the nation's largest water reservoir, but most importantly, it's not just the Colorado River. In fact, there's 3 rivers that contribute to the Lake Mead National Rec area. The Colorado is the first one. The second one is the Virgin River that comes from Zion in Utah, a fantastic river. And the third one is actually the Muddy River that originates in Moapa. Moapa is a local area, just 30-45 minutes here from town. Its Indian or Native American translation is actually muddy water. Moapa, Pa is water. So anyways, let's go back into, so that's where the lake, and now you know all about the lake. Now let's take you to town. So coming up from the south, and this is northeast southwest, is the 15 freeway. The 15 freeway then branches off and goes northeast to Salt Lake City, SLC. But down here, if you're coming up the 15 freeway, and by the way, we're just gonna put 1-5 here and an F, so you know that's the 15 freeway. This takes you to California. This is one of our most trafficked roads, the 15 freeway. Now right here in the center of downtown, that is downtown Las Vegas. Downtown Las Vegas is where Las Vegas originally started. In fact, just in this area over here is where the first modern settlement, or the Mormon missionary fort, or I guess it's just a Mormon settlement, was actually right down there. And they called Las Vegas, Las Vegas actually translates to the meadows because there was small little water meadows and a creek right there. And so that is where town started. And as with most towns, it was built concentrically outward and outward. It's no different than any other major city. So this is the 15. Another thing you need to know about Las Vegas is Summerlin, our episode that we've been talking about, is mostly right here. And then this area right here is the Red Rock Canyon. So I'm gonna put RRCYN. So that's the Red Rock Canyon area right there. And then the freeway does a unique turn to the left, or westbound, and then it starts to head northbound and out of Las Vegas. And that 95 freeway, I'll make sure I put a 95 right there so you know, that 95 freeway actually takes you up to Reno and Tahoe. So now there's a couple other important freeways that you need to be made aware of and how the town's flow will work. So the next one is the 215 freeway. And the 215 is a fantastic freeway that goes all the way around through Summerlin, through the northwest, and all the way down to here. It literally makes a loop around the entirety of the town. The 215 is a very powerful freeway. Now, if you're wondering, okay, where's the strip? So this is the strip right here, S-T-R-I-P. The strip is just on the right side, or the east side of the 15 freeway, in about the center of town right here. So that's where you're gonna find most of your entertainment and dining. And then just off the strip to the side right here is our Harry Reid Airport. So I'm gonna do my best to draw an airplane, and it's not gonna look very good. But that's where the airport is, right there. So that is now gonna help you figure out that this location in town is Henderson. This is our Henderson. And in this location right here is our city of North Las Vegas, NLV. Now this is the northwest part of town. A lot of people, you might hear it referred to as Providence or Centennial Hills. This is also where Sky Canyon is, and if you haven't seen our Sky Canyon playlist or videos, go ahead and check those out. This is where SC, Sky Canyon, is, and this is where Summerlin, SMRLN, that's where Summerlin is. So now, what does this mean to you? Well, basically, once you understand how Las Vegas works, you're either coming in from this way or you're coming from the airport and working your way to get here to Summerlin. And so this is the east side of Las Vegas. This is the west side of Las Vegas. You may have heard of things like Enterprise here, or at the bottom of town is the Southern Highlands. And now you have the full layout of how Las Vegas works and how the town is set up. It's mostly in a square, and you can easily access everything from your 15, your 95, or your 215. Now, just for clarity, so there's people in here that don't go, hey, you forgot some freeways. I do need to make mention of a very important freeway. It's the 93-95 freeway that will go all the way down through Henderson, and this is your freeway if you need to get to Arizona. Arizona is just about 45 minutes away from the center of town. And of course, that's going to take you to Scottsdale and Tempe. So you have a lot of places. You can hit Reno, Tahoe up this way. You can hit Salt Lake City from this way, Arizona from this way, and Southern California for this way. Really just demonstrating what a hub Las Vegas really is. And then of course, there's roads that run through Red Rock and all the way down to Blue Diamond. And then of course, for those who know what Pahrump is, there's also Pahrump out here. That's going to be off of Blue Diamond. This is just another town in Las Vegas with a couple 100,000 people. So this is the breakdown of how to get around and navigate Las